When we have high cortisol levels, and also another important part, the root chakra is connected and related to the adrenal glands. They produce stress hormones, and the skin answers. You need to, what I really want to make you believe, not believe, to start noticing. I want to ignite that spark with you, with all of them I'm sharing with you, because I don't know it all. What I share with you, I have learned, and a lot of things I have experienced myself. I only share with you what I really believe is true because I have tried it. I don't want to share something that I just read somewhere. I want to share with you what helped me, what made things click. There is connection everywhere between herbalism, naturopathy, astrology, the occult medicine, the real physical world. It's everywhere. You need to start noticing patterns, because this is how you start finding the chains that are so interconnected with each other. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Diana, and I'm trying to find and share with you the overlapping structures between the healing journey, alchemy, psychology, neuroscience, shadow work, and everything that I've been through in the last 8 years. So today I'm going to focus on the skin, and I'm sorry that this video came so late. It should have been uploaded last week, but I got sick. Today I'm also going to use my script and my laptop because I have a lot to share, and I need to structure it in a way that doesn't sound chaotic and I don't forget important details. There is really a lot to be shared. The skin is the organ, one of the main organs related to the root chakra, and it is very interesting. There are so many overlapping structures. I will talk about it in a minute, but if you just think about it, the root chakra is about safety, it's about being grounded, it's about environments, it's about the way that we feel in our body, in our family, because it's related to our close family, to our environment, to our homeland, and also to physical matter. And it's also related to boundaries, including physical boundaries, and the skin is the first physical boundary. This is our outer boundary. This is also how we communicate with the world at first. This is how we sense. Last time, if you have watched my previous video about earthing, you already know I mentioned those things, but we can sense so much about the world around us just with the skin alone. The skin also has immune cells. They are called Langerhals cells, and these cells are the first immune warriors. They're the first barrier that protects us from our environment. These cells are in the epidermis, but also in the outer layer. Our skin has pH around 5.5. It might vary in different people. It might be between 4 and 7 depending on the condition of the skin. And this creates an acidic environment, which also protects us from pathogens and from microorganisms that might harm our skin and our health. This is also why the skin barrier is so widely discussed, and it's a target in skincare because it is very important. A damaged skin barrier can lead to different problems, including bacterial infections or fungal infections, and keeping the barrier intact is a very important task that we have. The layers of the skin are 3. These 3 main layers are the dermis. I will begin with the upper layer. It's the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layers. The epidermis itself has 4 sublayers, and they have different functions, because the lowest layer, this is the basic or the basal layer. This layer consists of keratinocytes. This is the main cell type of the epidermis, and these cells begin to mature. They begin to move upwards between these 3 other layers. We have additional 5th layer on our palms and on our feet, because the skin there is a lot more resilient and thicker. But our keratinocytes begin to move upwards, and they begin to gain more keratin, and they begin to mature and to develop and to differentiate. This process, it lasts about 21 days, and then they reach the upper layer of the epidermis. This is the most this is the surface level of the epidermis that we can touch. And when they reach that layer, they are already dead, and they are called corneocytes. Corneocytes are fully developed and already dead keratinocytes. They are the protective layer. They build the horn layer of the epidermis, and they create that firm layer that protects different molecules from entering our skin. You can imagine it like that. The epidermis cells are like the bricks, and a fat layer, which consists of ceramides, phospholipids, and different, even cholesterol, they build the merging layer, and they also prevent different molecules from entering our skin, and also through the skin, our blood vessels, and our whole body. So the skin is our first this is our shield. This is our natural shield. The second layer is the dermis, and the dermis has two other layers. This is the papillary dermis and the reticular dermis. And here is the biggest amount, we can find the biggest amount of keratin. Of collagen, I'm sorry, not keratin, collagen. And this layer is also nourished and fed by the blood vessels that we have. This is why stimulating blood circulation, for example, with dry brushing, and I will talk about it also later on in this video, but this can help our blood vessels. Stimulating blood circulation helps our blood vessels give to our skin cells all of the supplements and of course also the oxygen that they need to be healthy and to develop well and to be nourished. The dermis layer also has elastic fibers, and they are responsible for the skin elasticity. This is why it's really important that we take care of our skin and to look at all of these layers that need to be nourished and taken care of. The deepest layer is the third layer. This is the subcutaneous layer. This is a fat layer, and it consists of cells called adipocytes. These cells, many people believe that when we gain fat, we have more fat cells, but that's not true. The fat cells just begin to accumulate more fat within the cell, like fatty acids, and they begin to expand the cell. So we don't have more cells, we have cells that get bigger, like a bubble filled with more fat. Also, I'm going to make another video on cellulite, and it's going to be probably a lot longer with many details, because I've been researching that topic for many years, and also the emotional and the spiritual reasons for cellulite. But the dermis, especially there is a difference between the dermis of men and the fibers, the elastic fibers of men and women. By women, we have more, our fibers are straight. By men, they are like crossed. They build a net. And when our fibers are not elastic enough, our fat cells in between begin to build these. I will put a picture in the video so you can imagine it better. Now that was the more dry part with the anatomy, but I think that it's important that everyone knows the basics about the skin so that we can move forward. Now we're moving to naturopathy and the holistic approach and the spiritual meaning of the skin and how it relates to the root. The root, if you just think about it, when we have a deep emotional connection with someone, within our relationship, we want to touch, we want to have physical contact, no matter if it's an intimate relationship and we want to have a sexual intimate contact, or with just someone that we love and we want to hug them and we want to take care of them and we want to caress them, and we also want to receive that. We want to receive that closeness, that intimacy, that warmth of the other person. The skin is a way that we can build connection. also when we have skin-to-skin contact with someone that we love, when we hug someone that we love, when we have loving physical touch with someone, our body releases oxytocin. And this is, I think that you already know, this is one of the hormones of the happy hormones. For us, that oxytocin and safety and being taken care of, and also taking care of somebody else, nourishment, connection, establishing a connection with someone, and intimacy in the physical and in the emotional realm. The next thing is that when we have a very intense emotional experience, or something that really touches us or surprises us, or even when we experience a deeper level of fear, which is also the demon of this chakra, of this energy center, we have chills, we have goosebumps, our skin reacts. This is another observation that I personally find fascinating, that our skin shows us what we sometimes cannot even express in words. And when it comes to sickness, when it comes to physical conditions of the skin, this is how we can interpret it. The skin tells us what we haven't thought about, or what we haven't paid attention to, or something that we might suppress, ignore, try to pretend that it's not there, something that is too heavy for us to work with, something that we try to deny, or something that we try to avoid. The skin is going to tell you, no, we have an issue, there was a problem. The skin is also an emunctory. This means that this is an organ that releases waste, such as the colon and the liver and the kidneys. The skin releases toxins, and it is a detoxifying organ by releasing substances in sebum. It excretes through sweat. This is why, I'm going to talk about it in another video, but if you suddenly have body odor that is very unpleasant for you, and you feel that it's something that is unusual for your body, there might be two main reasons physically: hormonal imbalance and overburdening of your liver and your kidneys and all of the emunctories, and also your gut. And the second big reason is the spiritual and the emotional reason. I'm going to talk about it in another video because it's a huge topic and I don't want to get distracted. The root chakra is related to safety, stability, money, family matters, the homeland. It's also related to material abundance, the way we connect to the material, our material body, the physical body, being grounded, being connected to Mother Earth, and also being connected to the world around us, interacting with the world around us, feeling safe, and feeling our sense of worthiness, and having the right to have our place in this world, to take up space in this world, and to be who we are. When we have problems in these areas, the skin reacts. The skin might have a reaction that shows us that something has been, as I already said, neglected, avoided, suppressed, or internalized and not worked with, not expressed. The skin itself, as I already said, this is something, an organ that is our connection to the outer world. This is when we have problems with our skin, we see them. We cannot ignore it. It's on the surface. So the skin puts and represents on the surface problems that have been happening inside of us. Here are 6 relations between the root chakra and the skin. First thing is, our skin is a barrier. Our skin is a physical boundary. This is what separates us from the world around us on the most superficial level. The root chakra itself is also about energetic boundaries. Again, being safe in who we are, being able to stand our ground, being able to be rooted in our values, being able to be rooted in who we are, in our worthiness, without compromising that. And by not compromising, I don't mean to be stubborn, because that is a negative expression of the root chakra, but it's about having a healthy sense of self. The second connection is the immunity. the immune system itself as a whole is also related to the root chakra, to the first energy center. So if you also have weak immunity, problems with the immune system, it might be also a sign of imbalanced root chakra. But the skin itself, as I already said, has immune cells. The skin creates the first shield, the first immune shield that protects our body from pathogens, microorganisms, and sickness that is caused by these pathogens. If you think about it, the immune system is the shield and it's also our protector. So it's again about safety and protection in our sovereignty. Just think about the parallel. Viruses, especially viruses, because bacteria have their own metabolism, but viruses cannot exist without a host. Viruses need a host they can exist, but they can't reproduce. They need a host that can produce their proteins, and when our cells, for example, produce the proteins that are necessary for the virus, it uses these proteins to build a new virus and then leaves our cells and destroys it. So our immunity is our security system. The next thing is something that I talked about in the last video, and this is about touch. This is about our physical connection to the world around us, our sensitivity, our physical sense. The skin is a sensory organ. This is one of the main functions of the skin as well, and it connects to the nervous system that I already talked about it in the last video, but also that skin-to-skin contact that allows us to feel Mother Earth, to connect to Mother Earth, allowing Mother Earth to heal us. It allows us to communicate with the world around us. This skin-to-skin this skin-to-earth contact, this exposure helps us ground ourselves. And this grounding is necessary for the balance of the root chakra. The fifth point is something that I found, these dots is something that I connected, so I don't have any proof of that. This is my personal observation. The root chakra starts developing in our mother's womb. I'm going to make a complete video on this, but our first subconscious beliefs and fears are stored there because our mother is responsible for our safety, our feeling of safety in the world. And there is science that back this up. When it comes to the skin contact between the mother and the infant, this can influence on the cognitive, the psychological, and even the physical development of the baby. So if we have the skin-to-skin contact again, and it can also help mothers by postpartum depression. The connection between the mother and the fetus must begin in the womb. And because again, the root chakra begins forming in the womb, and especially also in our first months and weeks of our life, that connection to our mother creates a feeling of and sense of worthiness, how protected we feel. Again, a huge topic of the first energy center. How safe do we feel? How embraced do we feel? Do we belong? Do we feel embraced and held? Do we feel touched? Are we nourished? Do we feel welcomed in this world? Because our mother is our first bridge between where we come from and this physical world. Also, our mother's womb, our mother's body, our mother's physical body is our first home. The home is also one of the areas that is related to the first energy center. And if you think about it, body, physical body, matter, home, first, the energy center. It's not a coincidence that the first energy center is related to these topics, because they begin with our birth, and even prior to our birth. There is a superior order in everything. This is why I said in the first video of this series that the root chakra is so overlooked and so underestimated, but it's the basis. We cannot build a house without the solid base. We cannot, and yes, the physical body is the most superficial part of us. We have many other bodies, we are way deeper. Our physical reality is just a reflection of that. This is not the goal, but we need to start observing these patterns. And the way that we are programmed to live our physical life it begins in our first days of our life. Babies know, babies feel, babies hear, babies don't remember with their mind, but they remember within their body. A grown adult might have problems with eating disorders, safety, self-worth, and so many other things that I'm going to focus on in the video about ED and problems with the food. But you need to, what I really want to make you believe, to start noticing. I want to ignite that spark with you with all of them I'm sharing with you, because I don't know it all. What I share with you, I have learned, and a lot of the things I have experienced myself. I only share with you what I really believe is true because I have tried it. I don't want to share something that I just read somewhere. I want to share with you what helped me, what made things click. There is connection everywhere between herbalism, naturopathy, astrology, the occult medicine, the real physical world. It's everywhere. You need to start noticing patterns, because this is how you start finding the chains that are so interconnected with each other. And we are influenced by forces that we don't see. And when we start noticing this connection, we start finding the keys to open the doors that help us, that heal us. There are many layers to this journey, and I'm going to unfold this in many different videos, because I cannot say everything in one series. I have so much to tell you, but I really want you to start making your own observations, to start noticing. This is also about the root chakra and practicality. Start noticing the world around you. Start noticing your habits. This is why I also say work in the physical with the knowledge that you have, because knowledge that is not applied is empty knowledge. It's nothing. It's just something that it gives you pride and thinking that you're better than. But if you don't apply it in the physical, what's the point? There is no point. Okay, and the last thing, survival mode. When we have problems with the skin, it is very often related to hormonal imbalance, and hormonal imbalance manifests in skin in skin problems, which means that when we are in survival mode, when our need for safety, protection, and feeling safe in our environments, when we feel neglected, when we feel stressed, when we feel attacked in our personal relationships, in our home, in the environment that we are meant to find shelter, when we feel attacked, unsafe, unprotected, unwelcomed, rejected, abandoned, we start having hormonal imbalances, and the glands, all of the organs in our body have a spiritual meaning. They're related to certain influences. This is the topic for another video. These imbalances start manifesting as physical issues, as physical symptoms, and the skin is one of the organs that is related to these specific symptoms, to the imbalances of the root chakra. When we have high cortisol levels, and also another important part, the root chakra is connected and related to the adrenal glands. They produce stress hormones, and the skin answers. So different, especially when you only have skin problems when you are with specific people, when you are in a relationship with someone, when you are in a specific environment, or when, for example, if all of your skin issues disappear when you go on a holiday, that's a sign. That is your body telling you, this environment, this person, this way of living is not healthy for me. This is not aligning. This creates this harmony within me. We need to change it. This is not what is healthy for us. As I already said, our relationships, this includes relationship with family, relationship with friends, relationships with partners, relationships with co-workers, environments, any type of interpersonal relationships within environments. When they are imbalanced, when they make you feel stressed, rejected, abandoned, like walking on eggshells, especially with toxic relationships, they manifest in skin problems, in rashes, eczema. I'm not talking about genetic conditions. This is another topic, and we're going to discuss it when it comes to generational healing, but because I have personal experience with that. But these conditions show you. You know, they say that when you're with the wrong person, you suddenly have starting skin breakouts and you start getting ugly. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Your body is rejecting that person and it's trying to communicate with you because you don't see the truth. You see it, but you choose to ignore it. So the skin, again, shows you and expresses what you don't want to see, or you can't see, or you think that you can't change, but it's time to change. The last thing that I want to mention is the connection between the skin and the liver. As I already said, the skin is an emunctory. It excretes toxins. This is also one of the main tasks of the liver, alongside with metabolizing substances and keeping us healthy. When the liver and the kidneys as well are overburdened, the skin starts trying to excrete. The liver stores emotions like anger, internalized conflict, unresolved conflict, animosity, jealousy, envy. Also the pancreas. They can accumulate anger, especially hidden anger. Not especially, but hidden anger, because when we express anger, it doesn't accumulate in a healthy way, not in a toxic way. There are healthy ways. This is again a topic for another video, but anger can be communicated in a healthy way. You hurt me, this made me angry, I don't like what you did. In an assertive, healthy way, without humiliating the other person, without lashing out. But also when you try to internalize everything to keep the peace, that war starts within yourself, and your liver is the first organ that pays the price. This can also be again related to body odor. And I will put in the description different herbs that can help you to purify your liver. And also in traditional Chinese medicine, the organs, especially the liver, they are not just looked at as the physical organ. They are looked at energy systems. And having problems with your liver or your liver qi, this is not something that is a literal physical problem. Your liver markers can be great, and you can have stagnant liver energy or problems with your liver energetically when you have stored anger, animosity, or all of the things that I already mentioned. This is again the topic of another video in the future. So this was for today, and I'm going to put the link to the dandelion vlog in the description box. I will also put the link towards to the digital guide on the skin and what is your skin trying to tell you. It includes a questionnaire, a mini journal, information about the skin anatomy, and the connection between the skin, the root chakra, and the naturopathy. And next time I plan to start talking about generational healing, generational trauma, and working with the ancestors. So I can't wait to see you next time. See you soon.